When I was younger, I was an artist. Everyone else would play outside, interact with others, socialise, but I would draw. I would never show anyone my work. I was too nervous. The pressure of being a young artist in an aging world, perhaps. Today I will show you my final masterpiece. My last work of art before I put down the pencil once and for all. Here we go. Drawing people is difficult, and I learned that the hard way. Creating life, mimicking human nature, these are things that artists like myself grappled with day to day. The people depicted in my final masterpiece is my family. I'm not sure what it is. It could be that my dad was actually bald. It could have been that I didn't have a red marker pen for my mum's hair. Or it could have been that wide grin on my face, and that eye, staring into your soul through the finished painting. Many artists have attempted to do what I have done, to capture human emotion in art form, and to a large extent we have all been unsuccessful. The vastness of human emotion and the uniqueness of personality makes this task so difficult. Hi, my name is Hughsif Brocklehurst and welcome to another instalment of Australian Story. In this episode you can follow my journey as I explore the animations we see on screen and the changing role they play in high budget films. From simple CGI to movie extras to main characters in feature length films. With so many advancements in the field of animations that replicate human nature, how do these animations more often than not fall short of the mark, failing to look like us? Follow me as I explore the Uncanny Valley, and prepare yourself for the future of modern films. But what is the Uncanny Valley, and why is it worth talking about? It is really just a theory. The term uncanny was first used in the field of psychology by Sigmund Freud in his 1919 book The Uncanny. He was a neurologist who described uncanny as unheimlich, meaning both familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. The principal problem surrounding Uncanny Valley is that the closer human animations become to looking like us, the further away they actually become. Animations can get to the point where they are too similar to us, and the human brain sees straight through the trick of animation. The uncanny feeling comes from where animations get so close to the idea of perfection that all perception of human nature is lost. Because obviously, no human is perfect. And here are a few examples. Keep in mind that it is harder to see the uncanny effect in still images, but regardless, it is clear that there is something unnerving and creepy about these images. It may be an eye or the way a mouth is half open, which gives away the animation. You may not even be able to tell what is wrong with the photo, apart from the fact that the way it makes you feel. Unheimlich. The theory of Uncanny Valley can be represented through an anthropomorphism graph. It is a graph of emotional response over human likeness. You can see here is the valley of the uncanny. Close to becoming human, but not quite there yet. It is between the 95 and 99% human likeness range. Anything more, and it would just be human. To give a rough idea, the Terminator would be at the bottom of the graph. A picture of me from earlier, well, that would be at the top of the graph. And of course, our Uncanny Valley images will be here. Now let's look at my masterpiece from earlier. Clearly it is not human, so it isn't at the very end of the graph. There is also nothing uncanny about my art, so it hasn't reached that level of human likeness. My masterpiece will be placed around here on the graph. Going into the topic of Uncanny Valley, I was aware of the issue and had a basic understanding of how it works, but admittedly, I wanted to know more. So I met up with an expert in the field of 3D modeling and animations at the Canberra Institute of Technology. So Lewis, what is this idea of the Uncanny Valley?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Hugh. The idea of the Uncanny Valley is a state of cognitive dissonance, which is essentially a feeling of discomfort that is felt when your attitudes and perceptions are met with information that challenges your way of thinking. This is the idea of internal consistency. Our brains are very smart, you see, so what we are looking at is roughly human. Our brain goes along with the idea. Not until our brain verifies what we're looking at do we notice that something is wrong with the image, creating that feeling of cognitive dissonance in uncanny imagery.
How does the brain react to these uncanny animations?
This is a very good question, and it's all to do with the vertical prefrontal cortex, or the VMPFC for short. This is the region of the brain that is responsible for making value judgments. Research into this area of the brain has found that the activity dipped when encountering artificial humans, suggesting that this area of the brain is crucial to the sensation of cognitive dissonance.
What does this mean for animators in their quest to create the most human-like images on our screens?
Well that's easy. When animators and scientists figure out how VMPFC works, expect there to be huge advancements in animation and a reduction in the uncanny feeling when watching them.
I wanted to test out the issue of cognitive dissonance myself, so I journeyed out to a local cinema to watch Aladdin, a new movie that has come under fire for entering the Uncanny Valley.
You really don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
Well, yes. After watching Aladdin, I can definitely say that it falls into the Valley of Uncanny. And the cognitive dissonance feeling that occurs when watching ruins the immersion of the film for me. But watching the film made me think of the social dilemmas with increasing uses of human animations. At what point does the art form of acting become stunted or even obsolete? From what I've seen in cinema, this seems to be a possible outcome for actors. Let me show another example from Hollywood. In fact, it was playing as a trailer before Aladdin. It is a movie called Cats.
I haven't seen you before, have I?
Open up and tell me if you find there the meaning of what happiness is.
Yikes. The thought of seeing those cat-human hybrids on screen honestly scared the living daylights out of me. But I was all out of money and there were no more movies to watch, so I went home. There was a particular movie that I wanted to watch, and it was going to help open up a very important point about the ethics of using animations on screen.
Most unfortunate about the security breach on Jeddah, Director Krennic. After so many setbacks and delays, and now this. We've heard word of rumors circulating through the city. Apparently, you've lost a rather talkative cargo pilot. If the Senate gets wind of our project, countless systems will flock to the rebellion.
When the battle station is finished, Governor Tarkin, the Senate will be of little concern.
When has become now, Director Krennic. The Emperor will tolerate no further delay. You have made time an ally of the rebellion. I suggest we solve both problems simultaneously with an immediate test of the weapon. Failure will find you explaining why to a far less patient audience.
I will not fail.
scene from Star Wars Rogue One, which aired in 2016. The animation of General Tarkin was truly amazing, despite the fact that it was very deep into the Uncanny Valley. The serious question needs to be asked if our desire to reanimate Peter Cushing's take on Tarkin 25 years after his death is even warranted. Does our generation own the right and likeness of previous generations? Personally, I don't think so. It raises serious ethical issues to bring back deceased actors, and I would struggle to justify such an action when it is impossible to know what they would want and the choices that they would make. Now, I will admit, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and it was amazing seeing General Tarkin on screen again. But is it really ethical to be doing this? To bringing back deceased characters? Regardless of what we think, this is currently happening, and it will continue until we decide as a people if it is okay or not. So I found myself asking about the future of animations. And what if animations broke through the Uncanny Valley? What if they did look like us? There is one answer I got from Lewis that I didn't show earlier. I asked him this exact question. What if animations broke through the Uncanny Valley?
Well, I would imagine that's actually really quite a hard question. I would suggest that it'd be a very scary time. If animators mastered the art of human-like animation, then it wouldn't be long before this translated into physical art as well. Expect a lot of jobs to potentially disappear. I mean, why would you need a physical person there when you go to buy a movie at a ticket booth? You could have a robot which looks exactly the same. I know this seems futuristic and maybe a little bit dystopian, but if we had that kind of technology, it could be a very different world that we'd be living in.
So, what if animations broke through the Uncanny Valley? Theoretically, it should be impossible for animations to break through the Uncanny Valley, to be indecipherable from friends and family. But that doesn't stop me from thinking about the possibility. Just imagine, you look online, on billboards, and you have to ask yourself, does this person really exist? On screen right now is a website called This Person Does Not Exist. Every time you refresh the page, a new computer-generated person comes up. I like to refresh the page and guess whether or not I would believe if it is someone I saw, and I try and find the flaws in the person. Sometimes it is easy, other times impossible. This is a daunting future that we would need to encounter in the coming decades. Closing the gap on the Uncanny Valley is important in my opinion, but we must be careful about how far we are willing to take our own desires. My greatest fear, the human race, is to create something that we cannot control, or that could ultimately be used against us. The future of animations on our screens is exciting, but it is not without challenges. But I'll leave you with these words from Albert Einstein. Mankind invented the atomic bomb, but no mouse would ever construct a mousetrap.